y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kelsee, where we make art, we read books, and near a certain part of the year, we start to celebrate the holidays and craft and thrift and do all of that fun stuff for a serotonin boost. So, if you like any of that, please stick around. But today, we are going to be doing a halfway to Halloween type of special. If you are not aware, it is now halfway to Halloween, which essentially in the Halloween collecting or celebrating community, that just means we're 6 months away from October. This is kind of our time to prepare for Halloween and get ready for what is going to be Halloween decor hunting, because that usually starts in June and we are basically only 1 month away, because we are, as I'm filming this, it is probably 2 weeks until May. So how did I want to celebrate halfway to Halloween this year? Well, by preparing for what we are a month away from, and that is Halloween decor hunting and decorating for the house. Because if you don't, it is going to get very overwhelming. So before I get any further into all of the details, and if you want to stick around for that, and if you are excited for Halloween as much as I am, or just like a good home decor celebration, then stick around, because we're also going to be going to the spooky swap meet here in LA during this video. We've got a lot to cover. I'm going to be watching my home decor video from last year, which was literally probably one of my third videos on the channel. So this is also going to be kind of a halfway point for me in the channel. Exciting things are happening today. Stick around. Let's get into the intro. So, like I said, we are getting basically 1 month away from Halloween decor hunting and Halloween starting to show up in the stores. I know for some of y'all who may be watching this video who are not into Halloween like that, y'all have been wondering, why am I seeing pumpkins in the store come June and we haven't even had the 4th of July? And that's because, one, resellers. It is not all of us Halloween lovers' fault, okay? Resellers have gotten outrageous, and because of that, the stores need even more time to have Halloween in the stores, because otherwise, nobody's able to buy it. Also, they realize that there have been more and more Halloween collectors, especially since the pandemic, where all of us need some serotonin. And so they're putting more in the stores, okay? I can't go complain about it to capitalism, all right? So there is your answer as to why you start seeing stuff in the stores come June. But with that being said, a lot of us Halloween lovers start to get very excited come April, May, because we realize we are only 6 months away from Halloween, our favorite time of year, and we're only 1 month away from collecting and starting to see some of the serotonin boosters show up in the store, and the fun of the hunt is upon us. I was wondering, what was I going to do for halfway to Halloween this year? I wanted to do something special since my channel kind of becomes a Halloween oasis come July, especially. A lot of Halloween starts being said a lot around these parts come around July probably. Still books, so don't worry yourselves. But you know how my intro, I'm like, where we make art? Okay, we do more than just the illustrations on the videos. I'll start crafting more around here. I'll start thrifting more around here. You'll see more of the My Creative Life instead of just My Creative Books portion of my channel come holiday season. So I wanted to do something special. I found out about the spooky swap meet here in LA. They have it every year in Heritage Square, where a lot of Halloween specific vendors come out, where you can kind of kickstart some of your softcore Halloween hunting with some small businesses and be around some other Halloween lovers to basically nerd out about the fact that summer sucks and we just want it to be fall already. And I got tickets this year to go, and I thought, okay, I'll film me vlogging at the spooky swap meet. That'll be fun, and I still want to do that. I'm still going to do that. There's going to be a portion of this video where we'll be vlogging all of my finds, if I find any. This is me before it's happening, so hope that I do find some. But also, I kind of started thinking, well, it might be helpful for y'all to know what I'm even looking for in the first place. I know that before last year, I was just going out and I was just finding whatever Halloween stuff I gravitated to, I bought. One, in this economy, that ain't gonna happen. That's just not gonna work. But as I've kind of gotten smarter about everything, I'm like, you have to go with a mission. You have to go with a plan, or else you're gonna buy everything in the store out of just your excitement. And so that's where having a plan came together. And themes, actual themes. I realized I wasn't collecting things in themes either. It was becoming a lot. So last year I started being a little bit more like, I have a plan when I go shopping. It may not seem like it if you watch some of those older videos and everything, because it seems like I'm just like, oh, it's a pumpkin, I'm just buying it. But there is a plan. But let's believe there's a plan. And I thought it'd be cool to maybe tell you guys what this year's plan will be for every part of the decorating of my house by looking through my old Decorate With Me video. Now, if you've been here since then, when I put out it in the first place, thank you so much. You were some of my first subscribers, and I appreciate y'all sticking around. Even though it's no longer Halloween, you probably started following me off that video because I got so many followers off that video, and then I switched to books and y'all were like, what happened to Halloween? But thank you still for following. But I'm super excited, one, to kind of watch this video and see kind of how things, what 6 months will do for a person after like editing and finding time and everything like that, and not having time and stuff like that. But also, what do I want to take from this? Also seeing what I even have. According to this, I have an organization system of some kind, so that you have to have one once you get a certain amount of things. So yeah, basically it will be a watching my Decorate With Me from last year, so that I can kind of talk through what my plans are for this year before we go out and kind of really kicking off the Halloween, like a soft launch. It's a soft launch. It's not a hard launch of Halloween shopping for the new year, so that you guys kind of get an idea of what I'm looking for when I'm at the spooky swap meet, and what I'll be looking for as more Halloween hunting videos kind of trickle through the channel. So that was a lot of talking, a lot of talking, and editing me is probably gonna have to like take out some things, because I'm positive I repeated myself a couple of times. But we're going to just get into it. I am seeing this screen grab already, and it's giving me already a big serotonin. Oh, look at these leaves. I am so excited. My bookcase does not look like that anymore. I do kind of miss having some of my covers out though. And maybe one of these weekends when I have some time, I may reorganize some things so that I have some covers peeking out. The thing that I found is an issue though, especially even with this, like my puzzled together horror thriller section that I really love, getting out books for like book challenges are pain. I love how it looks, but practicality isn't there. Yeah, but I do miss like some of my cute covers showing. I don't know. We'll see how it, maybe during like the holidays, when I redecorate for the holidays, I'll have some of my like Frankenstein and Dracula stuff showing again. Oh, okay. Now let's prepare for maybe some cringe. Okay, let's go. Welcome to another video of My Creative Life with Kelsee, and here we read books, we make crafts, we do art, we go thrifting, and we love the holidays. So if that all sounds great to you, then please subscribe down below. Today we are... That was like back when I used to basically like say at the beginning of my videos to subscribe. I don't know why. I think I stopped doing that because somebody told me to stop doing that or whatever. I don't know. It's just like interesting, like I used to have that at the beginning, now I don't. Halloween decor decorating. It was also when I was like really title, ting. Breakdown how I ended up, and then I started getting so tired. I have 2 other videos where I craft some of these things, as well as repaint a couple of things that I bought this year hunting, as well as I have a Halloween thrifting video. So I do recommend to go back and watch those things. I'll have a card up above to go see them. Just
Wrong
so that you guys
card.
can get an
That's
idea of where I even
crazy.
got all this stuff. I think that's a big question I usually get when people come over and they see the house. They're wondering, where did you get all this, and can you afford
That
all
is,
of
I
it?
still
If
get that
you
question
like what
even
you
with
see
books, though.
and you're looking for some inspiration this Halloween season, then stick around and see what we get into.
See what we get into. I always do that. This was before I had my special Halloween intro as well, which would have been great, but I didn't have it yet.
So yeah, this year I ended up doing a theme that originally started off as Halloween through the decades.
I
And
thought I
as
was
I
so
started
smart for having this
decorating and
Halloween through the
everything, it
decades.
kind of was that as a base of a theme. But as certain locations in my house started to kind of come together, it kind of started to be more than that. So up here on the bookshelf, it ended up being more of a Halloween through the decades trick-or-treating. Over near the TV, you'll see that we end up doing kind of like a pumpkin people and movies and Universal Monster type of thing over there with Sleepy Hollow and
Barely. I
Mummy and
barely had that theme in that
Hocus
area.
Pocus and Scream,
To
like
be
these types of
honest, I
things.
did not lean
Another
into it.
corner ends up being more of a witch type theme. And
Also,
then as we move into
barely.
the kitchen, you will notice it'll basically just be Halloween. I started to get low on decorations, and essentially these places like the coffee table and the kitchen end up kind of being overall Halloween locations. So I'm really excited for you guys to check it out. Let me know down below what you guys think as we move through the video, and if you like it,
This
please
was
give me a
before
like
I
and a subscribe
started
if you want more
really
content like this.
cutting up my videos. Oh, but I do miss doing these little, I need to do
Hello
more of these
from your
animation
voiceover
portions.
Kelsey. So, one thing I wanted to explain really quickly
I
is that
still
I
haven't
filmed this
learned
entire
to
decor
not
right with
film
me.
my
It wasn't
footage in
on my
slow-mo
Nook
by accident.
camera
I
that
really feel
slowed
like
down
that
everything that I did
shouldn't
and didn't
even
capture any of the
exist
audio.
on the camera.
I
I've heard
learned what
so
I
many
did
other YouTubers who
wrong.
are like, I
However,
barely ever
what
use
is in the
that
audio?
function
So,
to
like I
do
said to you all, you
pan
can
out
appreciate my
shots or anything like
voiceover
that.
as
The
I
function
explain to
shouldn't,
you what I
so
was
many people I've
originally
heard have
explaining
lost
in the
footage
original
from
audio for
recording in
Stick Right
slow-mo.
With Me. But let's get
And I
into it.
was
I
talking
just
so
cut
much
up
here.
branches I
I
got
had
from
everybody
Walgreens this
staying
year. I got
in
them
my
half
house, stay in
off.
their rooms
They
for
have lights built
2-3
into them,
hours.
and I think that they
That was a
really help
wash because I
the
had no
base for
audio.
like this fall look I was going for around the base of the bookcase.
I think I
I
really
also
loved
used these
these
fall garland that I got from
Michael's
Michael's. I
branches
got them
that
half
I
off,
got that year, and I think
$38.99.
even
Do not buy
this
these
year I
full
may get
price. See
some
right there, that
more.
was from me just
Just
putting it up
putting
there.
them
They were
up
like
was
8
so
that
hard.
fell off, and I
Also,
didn't
of
even do
course, the
much.
traditional Michael's
Right now, I'm
cheapo
putting up
garland.
the vintage Halloween sign that we
I was very
crafted
proud of that
in the
sign.
Craft With
I
Me
think
video that's
I
up
want to make
on
more signs
my
this
channel
year.
right now. If you want to find out how to make your own, go and check that out after you watch this
Oh,
video.
I'm so proud of that
I love
lantern.
how this
That
turned
lantern
out,
was
and it's going to be the focus point of
$14.99
everything that
from I
comes
think
off of it.
Ross.
This
And it was
lantern that I just
so
put up, I
heavy.
got from
It's
Ross this year,
ceramic,
and I got
it's
it for
steel.
14
There's
bucks. It
no
is
reason it should have
super
been
heavy.
that
I can't
cheap.
believe they sold it for 14. I was going to put up that mask box. It didn't fit, but it did fit. It went to the mask that I just pointed at, the Frankenstein mask. I got it from this great store in Burbank called Halloween Town. It's
Halloween Town is a
year-round
lot of
Halloween.
fun. I need to
If
go
you're
again.
looking for
I haven't
anything,
been since I
go take
went
a look. It's in a
during that
great
season.
place to walk around and everything. So
Especially
yeah,
for
that little
some
plug right there.
ideas.
I tried to put up these trick-or-treating buckets that I got from the 99-cent store.
I
They
was
were
so proud
really
of those busts.
working. I ended up
I know
putting
that
them around
Joann's
in
is going
different
out of
places, but they
business.
didn't
I
end
have
up
not
right
seen
there. What ended up there
those
were these
styrofoam busts
vintage candy boxes that I
ever
just
again
showed.
from
I
Joann's.
got them
And I
from
really
eBay.
wish I could have
Before tax
a
and shipping,
werewolf
that
or
each one
a
probably for me like 10
Dracula.
bucks. I wasn't
I
too
want a
mad at it,
petition
but
for
one thing I
Joann's to
wanted to
bring back
focus on
those
this year
busts
with
because I got them I
this
think on
vintage
clearance. I don't
Halloween
know. I think they were
aesthetic
like
is I
$1 or
didn't really
99 cents
use a
or
lot of
something really, really cheap.
risers and platforms
And they ended up being
to
my
put my figures
favorite
on, but I
craft,
wanted to use
one of
actual
my favorite things,
things
and I want
to
to have
rise
more
everything
of
that I had.
those.
And
just
I
for
came up with
more
this idea
Universal
of
monsters and
using
everything.
the candy boxes, which I
I know the
absolutely
Joannes
love.
just filed for
Um,
bankruptcy, but
I
I
think that
really
that was a great
I
idea.
hope that they're
And
gonna bring
later
it
on, I even
back.
made some books
I
and a
absolutely
VHS case
loved doing
as
that craft,
decor.
and it
So
turned out so
just to show
good.
you to get creative, especially if you're going for maximalism this year, it's just great to use something that actually looks nice
I looked
and serves a
everywhere.
purpose.
I finally got the
I
Michael's
zoomed in here because I
Frankenstein,
felt like you guys weren't seeing
but
a
I
lot of
couldn't
what
find
screen
the
for.
Bride of Frankenstein
And right
at
here, I
Home
placed
Goods. Hopefully I
my
can find her
bus that
this
I
year.
painted in the
I
Halloween craft with
really
my
wanted
video.
her,
I think
and
that
I went to
they
so
turned out
many
so good, and they
so
look
many
great
Home
in this
Goods,
corner.
and
They
I could
go
not
with
find
people with
her
that vintage
anywhere
look. Somehow
at
they end up
all.
looking vintage because of how I painted them.
It was
And
getting
like I
ridiculous.
said
I
before,
was like,
this
they're
is
not
supposed to be a
making her.
Halloween through the
They're not
decades type
making
of
them
theme, and it
in
turned out
like
to be
the
more
LA
like a
area.
trick-or-treaters through the decades theme up here on the bookshelf. So happy accidents. um, this is one of my favorite little
Ugh,
trick-or-treater
I love
heads that
those
I got
little
from Home Goods
trick-or-treater
last year.
guys.
I have a
They have
couple
like
of
their
those
heads and
now,
stuff.
and I placed them up there.
If you
These
can't
salt
tell, I
figures that I'm
love
showing
like
you, I get
vintage
these from
folksy
Home Goods and
Halloween.
TJ Maxx and everything
I think
because
I've
they're on
talked
a
about
bargain
it
line.
like in a couple of other like
I don't use them as salt and
videos
pepper
as of
shakers. I
late
use
when
them
I've been
as
thrifting.
small
I just
figurines
really feel
as
like the
fillers.
Ohio really, the
I think that's
Midwest
another
pops
big thing
out
with
come
doing maximalist
come
Halloween
Halloween,
is think
and
of the
during
small
Christmas.
spaces.
There's just something
Not
about
everything
it
needs to be
that
big.
I
There's really
love,
fit
like
in
it
those
looking like
spaces that
it's
have holes.
been passed down
So
or
here
antique
you
or
see me
something along
filling
those
those holes
lines.
with these little
It's
figurines that
giving
I
me a
have
serotonin
here
boost
and
just
there.
seeing it.
Our trick-or-treaters that we got from the
Those
99
little
cent Decor,
trick-or-treating
$15 a piece,
statues and
are up
stuff,
there
the
now.
cat
And these
and
are the
the
books that I thrifted
skeleton,
in my
I
Halloween
got
pick
that
with me video.
from
I wanted
99
to show these
cent. Those were
covers.
great.
I
99
ended
cent
up
is going
showing
out of
only the Goosebumps
business.
cover, but they were
That was
gorgeous
such a
covers,
great
but
steal
I
off
ended up
of
using them more as a
eBay. Somebody
platform.
like literally was
I
just
just
getting
showed
rid of
my
it for
Ben
like
Cooper
24 bucks or
vintage
something,
Halloween mask just a
which
second
was
ago from
insane for a Ben
Midwest,
Cooper
and that
mask
was
that
one of
had the
those things I got
box
off of
and
eBay.
with
So happy to
Spider-Man,
get
like a
that for such
recognizable
a
one.
reasonable price this year. Um, but
That
yeah,
was
a lot of things have
overpriced.
kind of
It
moved
looks
around and
nice, but it was
changed.
overpriced.
I really like showing the process
Um,
of doing this. I think
the
content creators
coveted
like Jay
Spirit
Beluga
Halloween
or
mask.
Midge Munster do a great job of showing how much this
My
is
little
like a
witch. I wish
process
I
and
would
not
have
just
shown
a
my witch
throw
up
thing up
close.
there. A
That
lot
was
of
another
reviews
one that
when
I
it
was so happy
happens.
to craft.
So I wanted to do something like that here too. These I got from eBay. It's Wolfman and
Those are
Dracula,
cute.
Happy Meal
Oh, you
toys,
might have
which were
seen like
great to
earlier,
go
I
as a
had like
cake
one
size
Goosebumps
for a house
novel.
I
And
got
even back
from
then,
also
I
up
had
there.
said, I don't know how,
This
what's
vine I
happening with
got from the
Goosebumps
99
novels.
cent. I
Like,
think
people
it
must
really
be like
added to the
not,
little
must be getting rid
fall
of them or
banner I
something.
had. So let's get a
I was so
close-up of
excited.
what we made here. So see, if you look closely, I have
Oh
these
my
candy
God.
corn filler pieces
I
here,
was
and this
really
was from the
happy
Martha
with
Stewart Halloween
how
line from
this
Marshalls.
kind of turned
If
out.
you
It
look
wasn't what I
closely, there's some
originally
small
was looking
candy
for,
buckets
but
and
I was
like
really
small
happy with like the
figures
maximalism of it all.
here and
I
there.
am a
Again,
maximalist. You
just
will see that through and
you
through as
can't
the
have a
holidays
ton of
continue.
big things. The
Um,
idea is
I
filling
probably want more of these
spaces where
candy
space is
corn
still
things from
available
Martha Stewart if
with
I can find
things.
those again,
So,
or even
you know, the
making my
quick
own. I wanted
people
to
in
make
the
my own
head
last
or
year.
like the small
I wasn't able
figurines
to.
here, like this
Some more
house
candy
that I absolutely
boxes
love
as
this
like
year, or
risers. I
the
definitely
salt and
want some
pepper
more of that this
shakers or
year.
the candy fillers. All of these things add
Um,
to that maximalist look, along with
yeah.
the fact that, again, you don't see a
I was
riser
happy with how
anywhere.
this turned out.
I'm
I was
using
so happy
books,
every
I'm
single time I
using
saw
these boxes and
I
stuff,
walked
and
in.
having things
It was
available
really
to me.
great.
I put LED lights behind everything,
Keep in
and
mind that
it
it's
turned
still
out looking
hot
so
in
great.
LA,
I
like during
love that
this
I put
time,
the
so
buttons on
like
for the holidays.
command hooks
These
were
are going to stay
not
up there
working.
all year
So like
from
sometimes
now on
like
out,
everything
and you
would
can now
be
see these
the
little lights
branches and
that
stuff
were
would fall
in
down, and that was
the
a pain. I
branches
need
of
to
those
figure that
trees
out
I was
this
talking
year.
about earlier, and I just think it was so cute.
Okay. So that was my bookshelf corner, which is kind of like my big. Some people have mantles. That's their area of like, oh my god, like this is gonna look so great. My book nook top is like that for me personally. I don't know. That may change this year as I get like closer to some more themes and everything. I think that it was just the strongest theme was up here for my book nook. So I think that that was why it was like the piece de la resistance or whatever. And I said last year it was supposed to be like a Halloween through the decades, just my favorite parts of each Halloween decade. And then it transformed because of all the vintage Halloween I started seeing into this like trick-or-treating through the decade situation. I want to lean heavier into the trick-or-treating theme. I think last year you can definitely see that it's trick-or-treating with the candy boxes and the masks and stuff, but there were some things that were there that I felt like they weren't on theme for trick-or-treating. They just were Halloween. Skeleton and pumpkin, like soldier guys or whatever, like that wasn't Halloween specific. Even the haunted house wasn't Halloween specific. The Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein up there, love them, but I feel like I put them up there because I wanted them to kind of be a focus rather than being like trick-or-treating specific, although like the masks are up there were on point. And I feel like even maybe like the witch girl, she was kind of on point because it kind of felt like she was more so in costume. So yeah, this year I really, really want to focus in on it being just trick-or-treat. So I want to make more vintage masks. We're looking for more vintage masks. We're looking for more vintage die cuts. I really want to find some die cuts to put up here. Like the idea is trick-or-treat, like childish Halloween, like a Halloween party even. I really want to get some like maybe Halloween party favors, whether it's those like witch fingers. I would love some vintage is the ongoing theme, or at least vintage looking is the ongoing theme. So I really want to get some noisemakers or witch fingers or fake candy, things like that. I want to make my own paper mache pail, vintage looking pails this year. I have started doing a lot of research on it, and I really want to try my luck at making my own. Now, I've seen other people make theirs, and I kind of want, I know that I'm going to get myself in some trouble by trying to make it harder on myself. Completely realize that. But I do want to try it without using another pumpkin pail over top of it as like a base. I've seen people do that, and while it gets the job done, I want something that really could be pulled off as something maybe vintage. So I'm taking it back to first grade, and I'm going to be using a balloon to make my like my pail, because that's how they used to do it. Was literally, well, like, I don't know how far back or whatever. I have to do some research on it. But I'm positive that, like, as far as crafting was concerned, like, I'm thinking 50s. They're using balloons. They were using something that was not a plastic inside. I've seen people use plaster molds. I don't have time for plaster molds. Like, while in theory, and maybe like if I wanted to sell them or something eventually, if I got good at it, that could be a situation. But I feel like it's way too involved as opposed to doing it with a balloon and just placing the plaster over the balloon. Now, I've seen people use the paper clay, and I think that the paper clay is nice. However, I want to try and do it with paper mache instead. The original ones I feel like were paper mache, although I think that paper clay on the inside would maybe make it stronger. So maybe combining the two kind of in a final result. But really, I've just seen too many people have issues with the paper glue, like making it and everything. Sarah Turo, I'll put her information down here. She's amazing, and she made amazing her own like pail last year, and it was really, really great. So check out her video. I think that it's a really great video and helped me a lot with kind of looking at what to do. But also I found a couple of others that I'll link down below, and putting together like some of their knowledge, kind of Frankensteining my own craft process together. I know that I want to use a balloon. I know that I want to use paper mache bandages. Didn't know paper mache bandages existed. That was an amazing, finding that out was crazy to me. I was like, oh, that's news to me. So I don't know. I know that I want to use a balloon though. I don't want my inside to have like this hard like shell. And I also don't want to be confined to that. So I want to do that with a wire, like, I want it to be very much on point that it seems like, oh, I got this from, like, even if I just got, like, one of those old Joanna Parker ones. I just refuse to pay that much for a pumpkin pail that I could possibly craft myself, and at least then I have the idea of the craft. So that's a big craft that I want to do this year. I want to do another vintage Halloween, like, ad. That would be really great. I really liked the one that I did that was in the middle, and so I want to try to do 2 more of those that are more candy focused. And yeah, more vintage candy boxes. I loved using those as like stuff to put things on top of. I blanked out. I can't remember what they're called anymore. But I really love doing that. I want more of them. I got like 3 of them last year for a good price, and I want to find some more on eBay this year, or like when I'm out and about. More likely it'll have to be on eBay because I know I'd only find boxes that look like that at a flea market or a antique store, and both of those I'm pretty positive they'll overcharge me on it. So that is the idea for up here this year. So a little bit of what was last year, just because I really loved that theme, but I just want to lean more into that, keep on with the vintage, but just lean further into the trick-or-treat idea instead of it being like trick-or-treat Halloweenish, if that makes sense. Also, as I move forward, I also want to lean into some of these themes a little bit more. There are some changes. It's not just me like simply saying like, oh, like I just want to lean further into each one. So let's move on to the next section. Okay, this section, I was not happy with it last year. It wasn't that it was bad. I just felt like it was very black, and nothing was really breaking up the noise. Like it kind of got lost because it's in this corner in my living room, and it turned out great, but not maximalist enough. For like, you see how the corner was, and then you see this, and you're like, I feel like we need more. So this year, this is probably the best place for my spooky town. Apparently it was a hot topic when I was explaining that I don't buy the Lemax houses, that I just buy the Lemax figures and the small things that go around the Lemax houses, because your girl ain't got the funds to be buying like $300 houses, no matter how much she loves Halloween. I actually get the cheaper like black tin houses that are from Target, and then I buy the figures to live in this town, because for me that's enough. I'm happy with that. I even like how it looks. So whenever I find black tin houses, I usually will get those for my Halloween town. I still want that. I still want that in the corner. But I have this issue where, let's pause it because that was a short amount because there wasn't a lot there. I have this issue where they're on these IKEA picture frame shelves. So there's a lip, if you've ever seen those. I love them, but there's a lip. And the lip sometimes is great because it means that things aren't going to fall off easily. But it also sometimes is a pain if you're doing stuff like this because it's preventing it from really sitting flat. And for the things that do sit flat, like the figures, there's this lip that's like in the way of you seeing the full figure. So I want to figure out a way to fix that this year. Because I also, like, right after this comes down, the Halloween stuff comes down, the Christmas stuff comes up, and it's still the same issue of like things being hidden. So I want to see if I can fix that, maybe like using some wood planks and then maybe putting some turf or fake grass or something on top of those wood planks for the houses to sit on top of and the figures to sit on top of, so it just is more seamless that you can see it all. So that's a little craft that I'm trying to do this year. I need some more tin houses because I know for a fact I'm going to buy some more Lemax figures. Lemax has already released what they're releasing this year for Halloween, and they brought back trick-or-treaters. For the last couple of years, they've just been focusing on skeletons and monsters, which I have plenty of. I would like some people back in this spooky town, as well as they have some like singular houses that are a little less like extravagant with the animatronics and everything. And they might get me on that. If I got some extra money in my pocket, they may get me on that. I'm not sure. But I think that the spooky town is definitely going to grow. And because of that, I want to find out a more creative way that kind of causes you to look in that corner more. I feel like last year it felt like an afterthought. With that being said, a lot of the witch things that I crafted and like bought for some of that corner, because it's supposed to be more of an apothecary, a witch apothecary type of thing. And I feel like it did it slightly, but it wasn't like, wow. It wasn't like the top of the bookshelf. You know, when you saw it, you were like, this is crazy that you created this. That is getting moved to the kitchen. And then some of those Halloween figures are mainly just Halloween. They're not necessarily like a full-on theme. Will kind of go, the idea is that they'll go at the top and bottom shelves of the Spooky Town to kind of end cap it, and then the Spooky Town portions will be in those middle 2 sections. It depends on how much the Spooky Town, count how many times I say Spooky Town, kind of grows, but that is currently the idea. If it grows more, then we'll have like, I'll have like the 3 at the bottom, or the 3 at the top, or Spooky Town bottom half is like the Halloween type of figures, and making those kind of more. But yeah, that's the idea for over there, because I just feel like it didn't feel like enough. I felt like I spent so much time and I stuffed so many things up here on my bookshelf that other parts of the house, while definitely a lot, and you'll see here with the TV area, it definitely was a lot, it just wasn't as much as like up there, or just wasn't as shocking, I guess. Let's continue. So this is my living room area. I'm going to keep on putting those spooky trees there. I got those from Five and Below for really cheap one year, and they were really great. They light up and everything. My witch is still going to go there. My racially ambiguous witch. Herman is going to go there. And then there's all these pumpkins. So the thing is that I love me some vintage-esque pumpkins. These trick-or-treater heads and stuff, those feel like they're going to be a part of the trick-or-treat area. But then we have the gentleman pumpkin, which is a little bit of a different situation. I want to bring all of kind of the pumpkin-related stuff down to the ground. Not all of it, but like you see that trick-or-treater I just put a head on, that's gonna go in the trick-or-treat area. And even some of those blow molds are gonna go in the trick-or-treat area. But then you have like this mummy that I had found at Home Goods was really, really great that year. And if you see, like, I'm kind of soft leaning into the movie monster, Universal monster kind of thing, but I don't feel like I'm really, really leaning into it. Like, that blow mold that I got from Home Goods last year, or not Home Goods, At Home, I got that from At Home, that would go in what's now going to be near the Spooky Town and everything. The pumpkin head, that's going in the Spooky Town area, or somewhere else. These were fine, because these are references to spooky stories and everything. The Hocus Pocus area is fine. The ghost would move. Ghostface would stay. I loved these candelabra type of things that I got from 99¢ last year, because they looked very vintage. I think they were like $7 a piece, so I only got 2 of them because they were a little bit more. But see, like, there's some of these pumpkin things that I'm like, this will stay. But because I like the pumpkin area. I like having that, like, pumpkin stuff around the TV area, because it feels very, like, when you look at it and you're, like, watching movies, you're like, this is Halloween. But that top portion especially, I want to really lean into Halloween movies, Halloween stories, stuff like that. I'm touching on it, but I'm not leaning into it as much as I could. So what I am looking for, I am hunting for VHS tapes of Halloween movies. One, Halloween. I would like to have Halloween. Last year I watched Halloween for the first time. I know, it was the classics. For some reason, I just didn't watch, because I freaked myself out when I was a kid about even watching them in the first place. And now the Scream franchise is my favorite franchise. Although that production company messed up everything. But the Scream franchise is amazing. I don't know why I was so scared. Maybe because I was 8. Who knows? But I really want some VHS tapes, like a lot more. Pumpkins for the bottom. There were some of those pumpkins that I really want. I like jack-o'-lanterns. I really like jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins and everything to kind of fill in that bottom portion. Not pumpkins like, some of those pumpkins were figures. Those would go in other areas of the house, but I don't want pumpkins. I don't want like pumpkin figures. I just want like pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns there at the bottom. I feel like I'm kind of making sense on that. And then I have vintage blow molds. I think it may be cool to have some blow molds in that area that are taller, but I don't know. That one's kind of shooting for the stars. We'll see. I would love a marquee sign for like scary movies and stuff, or like that really kind of just feels like it's an old like movie type of thing. I feel like a marquee sign would really sell that. Maybe even, and monster figures. I really want some monster figures. I have a few here, but like the Frankenstein like styrofoam head and the Bride of Frankenstein styrofoam head that I had over in my book nook, that's now gonna go over in the TV area. Like anything that is the haunted house that had the Happy Meal toys, that had the Wolfman and the Dracula, that's gonna go over in the TV area. Like I really want anything that is TV specific or story specific, like the Haunted Horseman, that's still gonna go over there because it's story related. Also, like that could be a reference to Sleepy Hollow, like, you know? So I still want that stuff to go over there because that's the focus, but I just really want you to look at it, and when you look at it, you go, oh, this is movie stuff. We're about to sit down and watch a scary movie. That is the focus there, as opposed to kind of what's happening here, where I felt like I was going light on it. Like there were definitely some touches there, and I was thinking of that being the idea, but I definitely feel like I went pumpkin crazy, and we got away from the actual theme that I was going for. So that's definitely what I was feeling like was kind of the end result ended up being here. Yeah, as far as crafting, I still don't have anything specific craft-wise for this area. I don't know. I may craft some dolls. Last year, I made this little guy. He's my little ugly Frankie. Is he ugly? Yes, but he's ugly and adorable to me. I know that he's rough and ready. He's primitive. We're giving the word primitive a try on that one. But like I made him. I made a Creature of the Black Lagoon, like Cloche. She would go over there as well. Like that's the focus there. The kitchen. This is where this is going to be my book nook project. So like as much like work as I put in this book nook last year, I want to put that on the kitchen this year. That is my big focus because this is going to be the witch kitchen. I am super excited because I feel like a lot of the items that ended up being here really were things that were just left over and had nowhere else to go in the rest of the house. To be honest. Like that skull bucket ended up there because I couldn't put it anywhere else in my book nook area. Even the lanterns. That plate kind of is just sitting there, which also kind of gave me agita because we live in LA, and like I was constantly afraid that like some shaking or whatever was going to just like knock that off. It was also super heavy, to be honest, and I kept on thinking we have plaster walls, so if you have plaster walls, you're constantly worried about the structure of any screws, no matter what they are, that you're putting in the wall, to be honest. Yeah, I just felt like it felt lackluster compared to other parts of the house and everything. It was fine, but it could have been better. And so this year it will be the witch kitchen. There will not be, this is just orange and black. We are leaning very nature because this is where the witch apothecary will now live. So this is really what I'm looking for this year. Looking for more apothecary jars. I'm hoping that I can, now that I have a lot of time before I start putting up that stuff, it'll give me time to kind of slowly build that collection up for like, and look for good prices instead of feeling this pressure of like, I still don't have anything, I gotta find something. If not, then I think the craft that I did last year for those fake ones was really great. And I'd be happy to do it again. I have all the stuff for it. It was just thrifting old glassware that kind of looked like apothecary jars and then using sticker paper and printing that out and using a gold leaf pen. But I would love to have like the actual stuff. So we're looking for that. We're looking for vintage tins, like spice things. Some of the stuff that I got in my last Thrift With Me video, we're looking for more of that. That just kind of gives this like, oh, a witch is cooking in here. I want to put some like Spanish moss and stuff like that kind of hanging from some of this. Some fake cobwebs and stuff, especially in these upper two shelves that we barely ever use. We don't use them. Like hardly ever. No one ever reaches up there for barely anything. So it'd be great to kind of use that space better for like the decor and stuff because we really don't use that stuff. Specimen art, like you know how when you see like the butterflies and stuff, maybe some stuff like that up there in those areas. Vintage hardcover books, that would be great, especially cookbooks. Like I'm thinking stuff that looks like it's like the fabric hardcover and stuff. That would be great in that area. Some primitive art, would be great. We're talking maybe a voodoo doll. I don't know. We can definitely craft that. I mean, this My ugly Frankie is already basically there. He's so adorable though, but I get why people may be creeped out by him. You know, I get it. Fortune telling cards that are like vintage and everything would be great, or any sort of like fortune telling anything. I have tarot cards, but I would love like some, you know, vintage looking tarot cards that go up there. If not, I mean, I have like my classic deck and my Rider Waite deck, so that can always go up there. Brass items like a mortar and pestle would be great in that area. Even like some like a brass candlestick or two. We're thinking brass, we're thinking moss green, we're thinking Spanish moss gray, we're thinking black, we're thinking wood. You see where I'm going color palette wise? And dried herbs. I never shopped the floral section at Michael's, and this year it looks like I finally will be, so there's that. And crafting wise, I want to make my own broom. I do, but I live in a place where it never gets dry enough for sticks to exist, apparently. And I refuse to pay like tons of money online for fake sticks. I also don't know if you can even buy them. So it's been a really weird, like that should be an easy, last year I wanted to make my own for my outside, like our witch house situation that we always do outside. But like, I could not find the materials necessary to do that, which was crazy to me. But yeah, and maybe some like primitive art of some sort. I keep saying that because it feels like a catch-all dish for like things that are sewn, buttons of some sort, things that look like they've been like tea dyed. Ooh, we're gonna do a lot of tea dyeing. So yeah, that is basically the idea for this like kitchen area, because it honestly did not feel as great as it was. And then this like dining room table situation, again, just the leftovers of everything that didn't have a place in the rest of the house. So this is definitely going to change this year as well. I just wanted to feel a little bit more purposeful. Like I didn't just put whatever was left in the boxes there. Archway will stay the same because I love doing that every year for the archway. And I was so happy with this like candlelit tour that we did at the that I did at the end. This was the only place where I found out that like doing the slow-mo made sense, because it gave it this whole like creepy thing. And I loved it. Was the lighting like horrid in some of these scenes and the focus was completely off? Absolutely. But I was happy. I was happy with the vibe. Will we do the same thing again this year and it'll be better? I'm not sure. I can't make any promises on that at all. But I was happy with it. I loved like putting on that LED light at night and having these like lights on a timer. Again, if you're looking for these branches, they came with these twinkle lights on them. So like they were at Michael's. I don't know if they're gonna sell them again this year, but I hope so. That was the first time I'd ever seen them in there, to be honest. So I don't know if they're new or if I've just been like missing them. But yeah, this was really great. It was so great. Kind of just seeing all of this and getting the serotonin again. But I am seeing where I really want to kind of do something a little bit better this year, with especially the TV area. I just feel like there's so much that we could do with the TV area, and it could be as wow as the book area was this year. So we will see. In another week, I'll be going to the spooky swap meet. This year, I've kind of said it before, I really do want to do more thrifting. One, because of my budget. Budget has significantly lowered for personal reasons. But also, I think last year I went wild. I'm happy with basically everything I bought last year. And I think that going in with a plan definitely was the reason for that. Like, I can't think of much of anything last year that I bought that I'm like now sitting here going, you're never gonna really want to put that up again, as opposed to like years before where I've looked at some of my Halloween decor from those years and I've gone like, why do we spend money on that? So again, we're definitely doing that this year. Keeping to our list. This is also an accountability thing for me, that if I have a list to look at or remember, I'm like, love that, it will stay there, because it's not for me. Sure, you may have some like regrets and stuff not buying something one year and going, oh, I still wish that I would have gone and got that, but that's still better than buyer's remorse and like buying something and going, I've never used this and I broke the bank for what? Especially if you're not putting it out that year. So that is the plan. I'm super excited. Let's go to the spooky swap meet, and I will see y'all in another week when I do a haul from what I possibly got at the spooky swap meet. Or maybe I didn't get anything and I'm just telling you what a great time I had. So let's go a week from now. Let's fast forward to a week from now. Hey y'all, so it is now a week later and we have just pulled up to Heritage Square here in LA where they're having the spooky swap meet. I'm excited. Let's get in there. We're a little bit early, which is good because I think there's going to be a line, but we'll see. But remember that list that we worked on earlier. That is what we're looking for. Let's stick to the list. We are looking fresh. Woo! Okay. Hey y'all, so we are back. We are back and it is the following morning. So as I am recording this, this is literally the day of that you guys are watching this. This is Sunday, the following day. Hence the fresh face. I believe this is clean girl aesthetic, I believe. In all honesty, I have to run around and do errands today and I just really did not want to put back on makeup. I mean, let's talk about how clear my skin is though. You know? Let's get into the haul. I had a great time. I made good time because we had to go to a friend's get together afterwards, so we didn't really hang around a lot after we had hit all of the stores and vendors and everything. It was really, really fun though. It was great. It was such a serotonin booster and I found some really great things. There were also some like spookier moments for you to like go to a haunted house type of situation. There was some trick-or-treating that you could do. There was also some sort of ghost variety show that was happening in the back of the swap meet, as well as a variety show happening in the front. There was so many vendors though, so many people that I follow already on Instagram, which it was great to see their stuff in person. We had like a 5 o'clock slot, which honestly, for me, was perfect. The sun wasn't as high, and it was like, it's becoming summer here. We're starting to get back to our normal weather again. By then, I think that some things were, people had been there since I think it starts around 1, maybe even 12. I'm not certain on that. Velvet Apparition was there, which they had gorgeous stuff, but at the end of the day, they are an antique seller, and their prices were definitely giving antique prices. I love antiques. That's the problem. My budget does not meet up with antiques prices. So while they had, you know, the noisemakers, the vintage noisemakers that I've been looking for, while they had like some great vintage die cuts, they had some great brass and everything, their prices just were, it was giving antique store. Gorgeous stuff. Even my partner like looked over, not knowing who Velvet Apparition is, and looked over and said, that looks like your speed. And I looked over and I said, oh my god, yes, that's what I'm looking for. And it was already a lot. So that was disappointing, but it was great to see in person and get some ideas for what I need to be like scavenging for on eBay for more affordable prices. Yeah, there were a whole lot of new ones that I hadn't known about before. Erie Attic, which I got some things from, as well as Discount Cemetery as well. I got some things from, and I had never really heard of them, so there were some new to me people as well. For the most part, prices were pretty good. I will say you could tell who were like more swap meet prices, because the best thing about the spooky swap meet is that if you see something that you really, really like, and you're usually like, oh, like online, it'll be more. Usually vendors will lower their prices for the spooky swap meet with the whole idea that, like, you know, bringing people in and wanting them to start Halloween. It's off Halloween season, so that it's kind of supposed to like get people to buy things, because you're just like, oh, I'm getting this for much cheaper, or like something available that usually isn't available, like online or in their brick and mortar store, whatever. And I think that like some vendors got that, and then there were some vendors who were like, nah, I'm gonna sell my stuff at its normal price. Or maybe they were lowering their prices, and I'm like, dude, your prices are already too high to begin with. So I did notice that a little bit, as well as the more well-known vendors and everything. You could really tell that they just like really kind of just set up a booth to be there, rather than the kind of it to feel more like a swap meet type of thing. Because at the end of the day, it's still a swap meet. You know, it's a play on words, but it's also like, well, it's a swap meet. You should be getting like swap meet prices, you know? So that was something I noticed. I may just be broke. There you go. So, but I did get a lot of great things. I also had a bunch of things come in recently. Well, not a bunch, but a few things come in recently from both eBay and Retro A Go-Go. And so I thought, like, since I was doing this haul anyways, I would also include those in this haul. Let's get into it, though. So let's start off with the things I got the spooky swap meet, and then I'll end with the loose items that I've gotten coming in recently. But when you first walk in, it's kind of overwhelming because there's so many vendors and there were so many people there. I mean, this was my first year going, but I've seen it online and in people's stories, and I don't think I've ever seen this many people at the spooky swap meet, so that's really great. It's fantastic. They started this in 2020, so of course, like, there weren't, a lot of it was like, oh, it was online, or then, you know, once COVID procedures and everything started to happen, you know, not as many people wanted to be around people, and you need 6 feet of distance, and it's good to see that it's really picking up as, like, we're able to interact with each other more and more. And one of the first places that we stopped was Discount Cemetery, which I knew that I wanted to hit for certain, because I'd scoped out, since I knew that we needed to leave and we couldn't really meander a whole lot, I wanted to scope out who all the vendors were, and Discount Cemetery had some really great stuff, as well as this really great t-shirt. I got the last one, and they were selling some of their like items that they couldn't sell full price online, so they discounted it. I got this for $15. It's usually $25, and it's because it has like this stain that's barely noticeable, and it's not, they didn't make the stain. Basically, the t-shirt, their blanks that they came in came with this like kind of stain, and they were just like, I don't feel comfortable selling this online, and the quality control and everything. This is the stain. I'm going to show you, and you gotta look close or you'll miss it. I don't even know if it's showing up on camera. It's there, though. It's not that red tape. It's in the middle of the shirt, literally right below that writing. I know, you can't even see it. But I appreciate that, like, you know, they don't feel comfortable selling shirts that aren't up to their standards, and they've got high standards. We appreciate that. But I got this XL shirt. It's a ringer tee, and I plan to like wear it with like biker shorts. I've been wanting a Halloween-esque, cute, right? Oh my gosh. It says Mom and Pop's Video Shop Halloween Blood Drive from like 1986, and apparently this is based on an actual design from the video shop, and like they give them the royalties for the design of they actually did this blood drive and everything. But it's just so adorable. I love like the off-white and like the ringer red around it and stuff. It's just adorable, and I've been wanting a like Halloween video shop type of t-shirt, but almost every single vendor wants to call their like any Etsy shop or whatever that I can find that has like these vintage-esque video store, Halloween video store type of t-shirts or anything. It's like the spook shop, spook this, that, or another. Spook, I don't know what the spook thing is for Halloween. As a Black person, I'm not having the word spook on any of my any of my Halloween anything. Honestly, having spooky on anything that I have, I'm not really cool with. I use the word spooky to describe things because it's just a very great word. I have tried to find other words that really live up to like what spooky kind of represents. But as for like having especially anything like spook on no. Do your research on like the history of the word, but it was a derogatory term for Black people for a very long time. And while that history has been eclipsed entirely by the Halloween community, I know that history and I'm not having it on a t-shirt. And so it's been hard for me to find like some Halloween specific like video t-shirt merch or whatever, because I feel like everyone that I found, it's like spook, spook, spook. I don't know what that is. So I absolutely loved these that were little vampires. They're just really cute. Let me go up close. Your little vampire tapes with their little trick-or-treater bags. So cute. So I love this. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, I got it for a good price. $15 for me. I felt like it was a really good price. They like gave out these adorable little vampire, like Halloween vampire teeth and everything, which those are free with your purchase. But for me, that's great because I'm looking for party favors and I thought that it was adorable. That was the first place I went to. I continued on and I looked at a bunch of other spots. Lucky Hellcat, great. I almost bought some coffin earrings, but I was being honest with myself. Honestly, I only wear like gold hoops. Very, very simple. And although like these red coffin earrings were adorable, I was just kind of like, I just don't think I'll wear them. They will be bought and never worn. They also had some really great shirts and purses and stuff that were designed, but I don't know. Like they just weren't selling me for some reason. I think that stuff looks really great. Other people who lean into that aesthetic very heavy. But like for me, I think I don't lean, as I'm wearing this like Scream shirt, whatever. I don't think that I lean into that aesthetic of like Halloween every day enough, like in what I wear. I love their big boy, their Beetlejuice big boy sweater that they have that everyone loves. But Beetlejuice, I love Beetlejuice, like, as a movie, I like watching it, but, like, my ride or die is Ghostface. And Ghostface, because of his mask and everything, I just feel like doesn't get enough love. So people need to make some more Ghostface merch, man. Like, this is amazing. Make more of this. But the next shop that I went to was Abby Bell's vendor location. And I absolutely love her work. She makes these not paper mache, paper clay figures, and I've been wanting them for so long. She had some of the statuette like that I've been really wanting for a while. Like she makes them in vampires and werewolves. She has a creature from the Black Lagoon and like mummies, and they're like vintage crafty type of creations, and they're really, really cute. And I kept on talking myself down from like buying them just because of the price tag, and I had a budget. Like, your girl was sticking to the budget. And I stayed on budget, by the way. I'm very happy to say I stayed on budget. But I felt like this cutie was sitting right in the budget area. This was $15 as well, which I thought was good price and everything. She talked about how she makes them. So in all honesty, I would love to kind of make my own in the future. But I wanted to make sure that I bought one of her pieces. And it is this adorable little cat. Yes! It's a cat, little wand. It's so cute and vintagey, and he's all cross-eyed. Oh, it's so cute. I absolutely love it. She was saying that, like, some people have stuck these. She had this, a pumpkin one, a gray cat. I think there was a, like, one that kind of was a ghosty type of thing. And she said that the best thing that she's seen is people use these in their wedding bouquets or in flower arrangements, which I think is so adorable. I will not be using this for that. I will be putting this in our vintage trick-or-treater area. That or depending on how big our spooky town area kind of gets, maybe in that area as like to stick in a trick-or-treat bucket. I just thought that would be really cute and everything for that. But also, like, now knowing how she makes these, I would love to try and make something in my own version as well. But I just thought it was so cute. I think that it looks like it's like a noisemaker, like a maraca or something. And I think that's why I'm like, oh, put it in the party favor type of area. Although it's not. It's a wand. So yeah, I was so happy to get my hands on these. I've been stalking her Instagram for who knows how long. And she had ornaments of this cute little cat. I was going back and forth on the ornament or the wand. And I just knew that the wand was the one for me. And I'm so happy with it. She was so nice. I absolutely loved it. I then headed to the Erie Attic. They had such great stuff. So they resell from their own collection that they've built out, and I know that they had some amazing stuff because I was like stalking them on Instagram and I followed them and I really saw some really amazing stuff. I knew that I wanted to stop there, and I know that by the time we got there, a lot of people had cleared them out of some really great items, but they gave me a good price because they kind of bundled up some things that I bought, which was great. It really felt like that's the whole swap meet type of energy that we need. These are probably the best things. I don't want to say best because the thing is that I love everything that I got. But these really were like, oh, these are on brand. It's almost like exactly what, when we made our list in the beginning of the video, exactly what I was needing. First and foremost, we got this amazing candelabra. Look at this. The little filigree on it, and this was originally $15, which obviously you're not holding it. You can't hold it because you're watching this video, but it's very heavy. This isn't, you can tell when something's fake brass and it's just like brass plated or something along those lines because you can just feel the heft. You can absolutely feel it. I picked it up and I was like, oh, we could lift with this. So 15 honestly wasn't that bad. I mean, that's how much Savers is selling it for nowadays. We've talked so much about how thrift stores have gone up in their prices. So I thought that it was an approachable price. Because I ended up buying some other items, she lowered this down to 10. And that was great. That was just absolute. I feel like, Savers would have sold this for this. And that's the other thing too, while we go through the rest of the items that I got. You may be thinking, Kelsey, you could get that from the thrift store for possibly cheaper. Yes, if maybe I was in Ohio. In LA, so many people are, some of these resellers and vendors who were there even, but so many people are catching on to reselling or just simply vintage that you can't find things in the thrift stores. I mean, you guys saw it in my Thrift With Me for my birthday video. It used to be so easy to find brass candlesticks. You can't find one brass candlestick in a thrift store anymore. It is just so hard, and especially a real brass candlestick, not just, this is plated or it's plastic. And this it's absolutely real. Same thing with VHS tapes. A couple of times that I've gone, it's just been like, nope, the ones that are there are the ones that are left over. Nobody's donating their VHS tapes, their Goosebumps books. So keep that in mind. Like some of these things, yes, I absolutely know that they could probably have been bought at the thrift store, but I have been striking out finding them for quite some time that it's become like almost like, okay, if I don't get this now and if it's at an agreeable price, I may not end up getting this thing at all. And I'd rather have like something for an agreeable price, especially for a small vendor, than sit there and pull my hair out because I can't find things anymore. But whole other tangent. I absolutely love this. This is going to go, the plan is that this is for my witch's apothecary kitchen, my witch kitchen. I really wanted, like we talked about, some brass items, and I wanted to use some brass candlesticks and everything to kind of scatter throughout and like burn some candles down and everything. I just thought that it would be so cool, and this candelabra would be perfect for it. Now, the question is if it is too tall to fit in there. If it is, it'll be going on my coffee table. Last year, the coffee table was a mess. It really was just, oh, I'm putting whatever kind of fits there. I want to do a little bit better this year. So we will see. But this is, the idea is that this is for the witch kitchen. I bought this along with these amazing Universal Monster statues. Now, she stated these are reproductions, which I'm positive they are. But my question is, reproductions of like what from what? Because looking at the bottom of them, it has the Universal like stamp, but I'm like, are they blanks? Were they like made like this? I have to do some research on it. But I did know that I absolutely thought they were perfect for our TV area that'll have our Monster Mash TV area. They were all priced differently depending on how big or popular they were. Like, but I really don't understand what the thought process was on like what makes them popular. Or was it like availability, like from them doing research? Because this creature was $20 originally. And let's see yep, there we go. Ah, he's so perfect. He was 20. The mummy was 10. The mummy and the creature are around the same size. I don't know if it's because like the mummy isn't as popular as creature is or what, but for some reason the mummy was 10. Let's focus. And I loved how detailed they were. My partner asked me if I was going to paint these, and in all honesty, I don't think I will. Like, I don't think I want to do that. Maybe like put like maybe some like age them, like some like thin out some brown paint or something and age them up a little bit so they're not like just pure white. That may be cool, and also so that you can see some of the detail in them. That may happen, but not like full on paint. And then finally, the Wolfman, which was, this one was originally 15. Okay. And this one's the smallest for some reason. And I don't know, I felt like Wolfman was just a little bit bigger than this. Like, not fully. I'm not saying that, like, he needed to be, like, the same size as Creature, but the fact that, like, Mummy and Wolfman are, like, look how, he's miniature. So, I don't know. I would have even felt like Wolfman would have been 10. I don't know. But she ended up, basically, for the set, it was going to be 45. She ended up taking about, she took that down to 40. I'm very, very happy with what I got. And they had some really great things. They had some masks. I got some video of it, but they had some masks. They had some Limax figures. I almost bought some Limax, to be honest, but I was like, we gotta focus on some other things right now. She just had so much great stuff. She had some really great like action figures that were like Frankenstein and Universal Monsters as well. I almost thought about buying those. It was really great. They had a really, really great setup. I really want to look at more that they sell online throughout the year because their collection is really on point for what I love. We walked past a lot of clothes vendors. I wasn't really looking for any more clothes. I'd gotten my shirt that I really loved. And then we got near the back and there were a lot of vendors who sold like magical items. That was interesting. Not necessarily because they were selling magical items. You could tell a lot of it was just buying stuff bulk and then reselling it. And the thing was, is there were some people, like there was one woman who was there who was just buying out all the sage they had. And they had overpriced their sage, like it was $8 a bundle. I'm like, $8 for sage. Don't pay $8 for sage. Yeah, the back of the swap meet, it was a little strange. It was a little bit like, okay. I don't know how we decided to put everybody in these areas, but there was a little incense. It was just strange. And then we came across the horror corner. They had some great stuff. I would have maybe even I thought that they should have been up near more of the swap meet area. Like we're reselling some items type of stuff. I thought that they had some great items and they were kind of stuck in the back. And we said we needed VHS tapes, right? There were VHS tapes. Now, there were some people, I had found one vendor who had a great carry VHS tape, which thinking back, I'm kind of like, you could have maybe just gotten that carry. And then they had Silence of the Lambs, and I was also like, that's also great. The thing is that some of y'all out there may be going, Kelsey, you could buy a VHS tape for like $1 at the thrift store. I know this. I've been striking out with finding horror like VHS tapes as of lately in the thrift stores. Again, I don't know what that is. It's really weird and it needs to be over with because I agree, I should not be paying $5 for even VHS tapes. I was willing to pay $5 for these. They were in really great condition and I love these movies. So I was like, I'm willing to pay $5 for these. But there were some that were like, they wanted to sell it for $12 and I'm like, that's the price of the original VHS tape at this point. That's just inflation and it's not even new. So it got a little crazy, but I ended up getting Vampire in Brooklyn, An Interview with the Vampire. Both of them are in amazing condition. All things considered that like they've been out of their wrapping. So I was like, okay, 5. 5 it is. I also really love both of these films a lot. And so I was cool with buying it for 5. I think that I've even gotten, like I got a Scream VHS tape last year on eBay because I really wanted Scream specifically and a Hocus Pocus one on eBay, and I think I paid 5, like with free shipping. So I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, this is where we've come to, I guess. But I'm really happy with them. I think that they're really cute and they're gonna look really amazing on my Monster Mash TV area. But again, like they had some, they had Silence of the Lambs, they had Carrie. This was a separate vendor, not the one that we went to. The Carrie one looked really great. I almost bought that one and I was surprised. I think they had it at $7 and I was just like, I'm not willing to pay more than $5 for a VHS tape. Like, we're getting outrageous. I think Silence of the Lambs was $12. Like, I was just like, this is cute, but you're not getting my money. But I will keep looking. We will keep thrifting and looking for VHS tapes. It's just been a struggle and it shouldn't be, but there we are. The last place that I visited was Cherry Noir Vintage. They had some nice things. Pricing was all right. You know, there was some things here and there. The thing that really, really stuck out to me was this Goosebumps novel. And it is the vintage with the slime frame with the raised Goosebumps. It's great. It's fantastic. I even love the color. The color is great. Did I pay overpriced for this? Absolutely. It was $10. It's $10. Thing is that's not even as high as it goes because on eBay and Etsy, I've been seeing vintage Goosebumps go for $15, $18 more dollars. So at the moment, which is crazy because you see like how much it was like $3 in 1990, like probably $6 when this was actually sold. It was the end of the day. And I finally found another Goosebumps novel that was like vintage and which I've been absolutely looking for. And I was just like, you know what, forget it. It's my last purchase of the day and it'll hit my budget. So let's just do it. So I gave her my $10. She's very nice and she had a lot of great stuff. I have no problem with giving my money to that woman. Yeah, I am really happy with the purchase itself. I'm just like, I just bought a Goosebumps novel for $10. And I know that some of y'all who collect Goosebumps novels are like, honestly, that really wasn't that bad of a price because I've paid more than that. But like, let's think about it, y'all. We're paying $10 for something that we could find in abundance at the thrift store, I know, only a couple of years ago. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. That was everything I got at the actual spooky swap meet. Again, we had a really great time. I wish that we could have seen practical peculiarities. That's what his name is on Instagram. Jesus, I can't believe like I was not figuring it out. But I wish I would have seen like his stuff in person, maybe even had like one of his pies or something. There are a lot of other great vendors there, but again, there was one vendor who almost got my money. I cannot remember what their shop was called. They had some great stuff, and I almost got like this really cool ornate brass type of water canister thing. And if it would have been maybe 20, I would have gotten it because it was heavy. They wanted 30, and I was like, they're not getting 30. I will keep on looking at the thrift store. And that's the thing, is that some of those items, you had to really kind of go, can I find this at the thrift store? Can I find it for cheaper at the thrift store? If not, and I really love this thing, and I don't want to chance it to not find it this year, fine, you've got my money. And that's how you had to kind of go through a lot of the swap meet, like, areas that had more vintage stuff or like thrifted stuff or older stuff. And I'm happy with what my decisions were today, especially this candelabra and my little monster men. Those were I just think that they were the best for like exactly what I was looking for. A couple of other things did come in from eBay and Retro A Go-Go. If you don't know what Retro A Go-Go is, you've probably seen some Halloween people and collectors and stuff who have these amazing masks on their walls. Missy Creep, I think that's what her name, or Miss Creep, I'll tag her down below, is really great. And she has a full collection, a full wall of these, and it looks so amazing. And right now, they're having their spring cleaning sale, so you get 60% off any items they have on the site. It's not just for older items, it's for anything left on the site, which is a really great deal. Since this mask was out of the box, I got this with shipping, $8. $8. Absolutely love it. I have one of their really huge Frankenstein ones, which is out all year, and I got that from Halloween Town, which I mentioned earlier in the video. I thought that this one was so cute. I'm a little iffy about like what devil kind of stuff I have, because your girl don't play about that stuff, but this seemed cute and like not like real devil. Like it just seems like he's got like this earring. Like this is just like a little cute Lucifer type of thing. He didn't feel as creepy, and like I'm bringing in bad spirit. And then quickly, I also got this amazing palmistry. I'm gonna keep it in the bag because I don't feel like it. No, let's take it out of the bag real quick. I got this great palmistry book. This was a little more expensive. I did get it with shipping. It was around 30 bucks. I honestly, looking at like it's from 1909, I think is the copyright date on it. And yeah, 1909. And honestly, I really, really love the cover because you look at it and it's a palmistry book. I loved that. It really, really looked like an old school palmistry book, like with the whole cover and everything. A lot of the palmistry books that were older I was seeing didn't really have anything on the front of it. This is again for our witch kitchen. And I just thought that this was going to look so cool. I really can't wait to look through it and to learn more about what the early 1900s was doing in the palmistry realm. But I thought that this was so nice. And honestly, for 30 bucks, like you see some of those vintage hardcovers on eBay and they want 80, 60. Super happy about that. And last, remember how I said I wanted some witch fingers? Well, I got me some witch fingers. These were $5 with shipping. It was really, really cheap. They're like in a Ziploc bag. You could tell somebody was like just found these at probably an estate sale or something like that. Let me see. And we're just trying to get rid of them. And I'm not mad at it. There's a whole little baggie here. And I can't wait to scatter these throughout my trick-or-treat area for this Halloween. So, super exciting. That is what I have pulled in so far at this halfway to Halloween point. I am so happy with everything that I found. I had a great time to spooky swap me. I have one more thing coming in from eBay, but it's an apothecary jar. It's another apothecary jar. I'm slowly, price gotta be right. We will slowly build that. We don't want to break the bank on that. But I'm having a good time. This is our soft start to Halloween hunting. And come May, we've got like basically a month until the games begin in like the actual stores. So probably sometime in May, there may be another, I'm going to the thrift store to relax and we're seeing what we can find. But I think starting a little bit earlier puts a little bit of pressure, takes a little pressure off of you, especially if you have like a plan. And now we have a plan. We started this whole thing off with a plan. I cannot wait to see what this Halloween hunting year provides, what this Halloween year provides and everything. I know that sounds crazy since it's just the end of April, but as we can see, being at the swap meet, other people are out there buying the stuff. So I'm not crazy. I just need a serotonin boost. But I had a really great time this weekend and I can't wait to show y'all the rest of the year, what I find. I feel really good about like the thrifting and making sure we just stay on budget and that we will find what we need. And if we don't, we will make it. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. Subscribe down below and leave a comment if you also are Halloween hunting this year, or you're excited, or you celebrate halfway to Halloween. Did you go to the spooky swap meet this year? Because I saw a couple of people who were actually that I follow who were going to, or have you never heard of it before? And is there something like this in your area? Let me know down below. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.